since Stonewall drag has been there. Since before Stonewall drag has been there, but with Stonewall we earned our cred. And now 45 years later, every single person here, whether they're wearing latex, whether they're wearing rubber, whether they're in leather, whether they're wearing a polo shirt and shorts walking down the street, we're all trying to represent something that's part of who we are. It's part of the inside of what we are. It's trying to express ourselves.
I'm not trying to convince anybody that I'm a woman, because I'm not. You know? And again, it's all about my joy of exploring gender in a way that's, for me, together in one thing, not a binary thing, but just a mixture of it all. So I was 39 when I first put on makeup, and I was like, wow, isn't this odd to kind of have waited, that long to do that?
I normally do my eyes first because of, there's fallout that happens when you put all these powders on your face, and once I wipe it away and the lashes are on and I look at myself, I'm like, there she is. Those are Robusta's eyes. The wig is the last touch, where he goes to she and Joey goes to Robusta. Talking about it like this, it's so weird. It makes the hair on my body stand up.
Through me, through the windows of my disguise, you were one of the few who really knew me. You always took me by surprise.
I have this trimmer, and it's called Essential Trimmer, and maybe someone else watching this will have it. And I didn't perform for a while because of it. I moved here and I knew I couldn't be a waiter. There are some things I could not do, but who says I can't be a performer that's got a little trimmer? Katharine Hepburn. When I found out that Katharine Hepburn had the same essential trimmer, it was kind of a day that changed my life. This is a lot of painting. This is putting on makeup. Whatever, you get into drag, whatever you're going to call your process. I call it painting because I feel like this is like primer, right? I like to think that candy keeps will in check. A lot of times when I want to be super angry or go off or whatever, I'm like, what would Candy do? Candy would keep her shit together. You should be more like Candy. So, I try.
I think all creative people kind of just want to be like immortalized. Today we're doing titties, and I'm super excited to show you guys this. It's gonna be like 5-minute, quick and easy titties. It's something that I do not understand why more drag queens do not do it. I'm not even doing a base coat. You really should probably do a base coat, but we're just doing quick and easy, down and dirty titties. Say we got 15 minutes to get ready. You know what? Slap some titties on, girls. It's not that hard. Come on. Just gonna paint them on. Here, we're gonna create little C's. It's easier if you have a mirror. Even if you got like that kind of bird chest, like those like super skinny girls. Paint like a little titty, like a little bit. Like just not, you don't need like these like kind of Long Island medium titties that I'm doing right now. So anyway, so what we're doing is we're actually just gonna be laying down the basis of our highlight in our liquid. And we're gonna get a little painty with our hands. We're gonna get crazy. We're gonna like finger paint a little bit. See, look at that. Got a nice little ombre. And then get a contouring palette. This one sucks. Don't get this one. And I love this stuff, this number 7 stuff. You really do need to spend money on makeup. Oh, and another thing is like with titties, come on. Okay, like, see, make sure there's like a bit of room like between the tits. You can't have like them like touching each other. And then the other mistake is actually having them too high. Yeah, you don't want the tits, you need to have, it can't be too high. So then we're just gonna kind of create that line. We're setting it with our contouring palette. Now I know this is not gonna look the best. An older queen told me once that you only do drag for yourself. That's why I do drag. I do it for me.
Every queen has a moment where all of a sudden it's done. For some, it's the base, for some, it's the wig, for some, it's the shoes, for me, it's the lashes. When the lashes are on and the glue is set, she's here. I am Her Imperial Majesty, Empress 26 of New York, the Elemental Broadway Empress of Community Camp in collaboration, Witti Repartee. And just recently named Queen of the New York Leathermen. If Michael were here, and he's not, but if he were, he would definitely be stopping by the latex rubber table. My intention was to come as Michael, and I would have been wearing a pair of cut-off blue jean shorts and a black leather vest. Or maybe just a harness. That's really how drag and leather, to me, come together. It's how do I want the world to see me? Sometimes it's pretty and strong. Sometimes it's dominant. Sometimes it's available. But it's all a chance to take Michael and say something that I don't say between 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's a chance to explore the world. It's a chance to say, this is who I really am on the inside. Witti can be very masculine, and Michael doesn't get hung up on labels of masculine or feminine. Witti is much stronger than Michael. So at the end of the day, you know, Michael is still the fat little redhead that got picked on in 5th grade. Witti and Leather Daddy Michael are characters that I can put on to hide him from the world, to protect him, to keep those vulnerabilities hidden, to either laugh at the world as Witti, or the chance to own who I am and define who I am before anybody else laughs at who I was. A lot of drag and a lot of leather comes out of the same place. We are bigger people than we were in 5th grade. We're different people than we were when we were picked on the playground. The ways we choose to enter the world and interact with the world really are the opportunities for us to be better than we were, and for us to own our whole selves. The S&M aspects is just one more, you know, finding a way to get in touch with your body, finding a way to really viscerally understand what you're feeling and how you're trying to feel it, and being open to that. Not so much the pain dynamic, but the power dynamic. And getting back in touch with the fact that we are all whole human beings, and shutting out any aspect or trying to be all one thing and not the other never works.
I am able to step into the world fully as this whole being that I believe myself to be, which is transcendent gender. And I love that. It's just like a sense of empowerment. I describe it as feeling truly beautiful, and feeling truly powerful, and feeling truly glamorous.
I think everyone wants to know where we came from, but how do you understand? Cosmos can help.
I'm Yolanda. How are
Nice
you?
to meet you.
Thank you.
You're here for spa manicure pedicure, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna take you upstairs. Olga's gonna work you up.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna guide you upstairs. Okay. This way.
Okay.
Please watch the step.
Alright.
This is the place. All clients, 99% men,
Yeah.
they get nail polish all the time. But now it's more common to see guys with nail polish. This is the place that everything can be. For us, men and women is still the same.
Well, which was my point exactly. He said, well, we always do that for men. I'm like, well, first of all, I said, how do you know I'm a man?
Yes, thank you. But in a lot of places they do that. They think because you're a guy, they try to get like more money. But I
I
don't
don't
think it's
understand
fair.
the reasoning for that, though. I mean, it's not any more difficult to,
No,
to work on a
it's the same.
guy.
Take me home now, out too far away.
It's
Silver.
It's a shiny silver.
What I love the most about getting my nails and feet done is when you take that little tool and you sort of nip all the skin off and everything, and I can't possibly reach down there because I've got an extra.
Dreaming of that great drag ball in the sky. Yeah. And when they come to take me.
We keep it the same length or we cut a little bit?
Yeah, just trim it up to make it a little, because I play the guitar so.
Yeah, also forget it.
We're having a spa day. It's beautiful. It really is. Like, I don't want a huge overhaul kind of surgery or anything.
No, honey.
But just, you know, you look good, you know, just tighten it up a little.
When you look good, you feel good,
Absolutely.
right?
It's the way it works for me.
You see, you look so pretty.
You feel pretty. Look at that.
You see? Do you see the color looks beautiful?
Undergarments on. I need my Nicki Minaj lipstick. Okay, Bex. We went to David's bridal.
9 a.m. appointment or whatever time.
I think it was 10.
I think it was 10.
Was it 10? And then we did it. In less than 24 hours, in less than 16.
Really, yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty-
Becca had done the hem, made my bouquet and headpiece. I called you.
Well, we talked about it beforehand that if it went through, that this was what was going to happen for Pride. It was just.
This was going to be it. I think there was
Yeah.
a phone call probably Wednesday
Yeah.
saying where the Supreme Court's either going to announce it on Thursday or Friday. And whichever day they did that, if they did it on Friday, could we get to David's bridal at opening? Walk out with a dress.
Get an appointment, walk out. Would they have a dress that we could walk out with?
We tried 3 dresses, and this was the second one.
We needed something that was beautiful yet functional, and this was really just the best choice.
I used to say this to my mother. She would say, "Are you ready to move home?" And I'd say, "Well, I can't have a wedding in the Presbyterian church because the Presbyterians don't recognize gay marriage, and now they do." The kitchen's a mess.
understanding of my own relationship to the word transgender. It really is. And I fully embrace that word now. I'm turning 60 this year, so that's a big deal for me. Especially being HIV positive and not expecting to really be here. I've had a backwards and forwards relationship with the term, and it's so wonderful that my husband really embraces me in whatever journey that I want to do.
There is that happy couple arriving for the big.
Glenn and I got married in the New York City Halloween Parade in 2011. We took our vows at the Soho Park, where everybody lines up to get into the parade, and then we hired a horse and buggy to come carry us and our minister friend, Reverend Sean, through the parade, waving at everybody, saying, "Thank you for coming to our wedding." You are the greatest love of my life.
Oh.
I absolutely love you more than anyone I've ever known.
To you, Roger. Take Glenn to be your husband, to love, honor, and cherish through all circumstances.
I do.
Good. To you, Glenn. Take Roger to be your husband, to love, honor, and cherish through all circumstances.
I do!
Yeah!
For me to even want to get married was a big change. It's because I love my husband that I wanted to get married. It didn't benefit us in any way, financially or tax-wise or anything. It didn't do anything like that for us. It was just simply a statement of our love for each other, and that's the reason why we did it.
By the authority of the Holy Spirit of love, I now pronounce you married.
Yay!
Before the marriage law passed, we didn't really think it would make that much of a difference to us because we've been together for 7 years. But when it passed, everything shifted, and now it's like a culmination of our love.
We could have just stayed in the shadows and never had Stonewall. I spent most of my adult life living in alternative communities and expressing really radical alternative beliefs. The world is changing regardless of what we do. And wherever we begin with equality, it will expand to include everyone else. I think we're dry.
Whether we're drag queens or we're performers in the city, or we're doctors or lawyers or just regular folks, as my parents always said, we have this secret identity that we don't let out and we don't celebrate much. And it's that person that makes us do everything that we do, but they're maybe not camera ready, or maybe they're a little shy.
Spotlight glows, piano rolls. You know your part, you've done this many times before. It scares me each time I begin. Celebrate the man behind the curtain. He's doing all he can, he's flying free. He has a million doubts, but this I know for certain. He gives it all he's got, he owns the key. Celebrate the man behind the curtain. He's doing all he can, he's flying free.
I walked out of a taxi wearing, I think I was wearing these jeans, but I was wearing my big black coat, and someone, this is what, 2 weeks ago? Someone driving down in their car screamed faggot out the window, and I was like, I don't think I said fuck you, I think I said work! I just threw my fingers up and started snapping. Robusta is the empress, Joey's the faggot. When I'm in drag, nobody refers to me as Joey. I actually adamantly refuse for anyone to address me as Joey. She sort of developed organically. On her first outing, she was a nasty, nasty, like very blue. I'm quick anyway. Robusta's quicker. It's something about the makeup and the wig. She's become a lot softer and a lot classier. She's not just this smack you over the head with the porno humor immediately and the dick jokes and whatnot. You know, there's all this bullshit that goes into it to feminize a very male body. You know, the hips and the ass and 4 or 5 pairs of tights to cover up the hair on my legs. God, I really do look just like my mother. Because up until then, it's just pain. You know, hardly being able to breathe, losing a little bit of vision on either side because you've got no oxygen going to your brain with the corseting going on. And then it's like something clicks and she doesn't feel it anymore.
Gender presentation is often a target for violence and is often a target for discrimination. Whether I am in a dress walking down the street or a trans woman is walking down the street, someone might see that and see other and choose that as a target. I'm very lucky, you know, when I'm in drag, I'm 6.5 to 7 feet tall and I'm 200 plus pounds. I don't get hassled. But I've had friends who have been and have been hurt very badly. No one's ever going to mistake me for a woman. I don't dress to be a woman. I'm a drag queen. But there is a similar... when I hear of trans bashing, I always stop and think. Not even a trans bashing. Sometimes it's just a gay bashing. You know, I walk down that street. I walk down that corner. How hyper-aware do I have to be? Where am I now?
We got marriage. And that doesn't necessarily leave people out because, you know, there are always opportunities. And yes, it's not perfect for people who are committed to poly relationships because then, you know, well, which couple gets married and which couple doesn't and how do you balance that? And what's next has got to be economic justice for everybody because we're not really addressing all of those issues fully yet. Marriage doesn't solve those issues completely. Particularly in a world of 1% inherited wealth and inheritance rights. But there are a lot of things that do get helped by it. Trans issues have come to the surface. Economic justice has been a big deal. And I think it's just a question of figuring out where we're going to marshal the resources and what we're going to put behind that next step. When the New York City Gay Men's Chorus was celebrating its 20th anniversary, it commissioned a work called the Gay Century Songbook, which was looking at 100 years of gay life, primarily in New York City. And the opening number had a line that I'll never forget. If the cost of liberation is complete assimilation, will we all wind up invisible again? And I think that that's something that we're in danger of as we become more normalized in society, as it stops being so other. Where are we? Which is why I think it's interesting that drag culture has suddenly re-exploded again. We're not just like everybody else. We're you know, I mean, it's flip to say we're more fabulous. That's not the answer. Malcolm X said, if you want to be my friend, there are 2 things you have to do. The first thing is to forget that I'm black. The second thing is to never forget that I'm black. And without taking away from his very specific voice for a very specific purpose, I think underneath what he's saying is, don't treat me any differently, but don't ever presume that our experiences are the same. And I think there's a lot of that in what's still to come with gay culture and gay life. We are no different, but our experiences are. The way we were brought up, the heteronormative things we had to fight against, the moment when we realized that we were other.
We're not all the fortunate ones, but girls, they wanna have.
Older queens get it more than new queens. Like old gay guys live for my PhilEsha look, and I think it's because I come from I come from an understanding of the gay culture that I think a lot of younger gays don't. And it's hard, I think, for straight people like my parents to understand why I would do this. Like, they're like, which is weird because my mom comes from living in San Francisco in the 70s. Because she lived through that time in San Francisco. So she did watch a lot of her gay friends die. Actually, very recently, first time my mom asked about PhilEsha. Like how PhilEsha was doing. Doing drag has really helped me embrace myself in the way of me having a better understanding of my own sexuality and my own development as a gay man, transgender issues, and that there's blurred lines for everything. And I love the idea of pushing those norms, pushing the idea of beauty norms, pushing the idea of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. I should wear the flamingo on my head and really wear my hip pads. Give all the body. But you're my no one could have witnessed what you did to me, but you wouldn't know me at all today. From the fading light I fly, rise like a phoenix out of the ashes, seeking rather than vengeance, retribution. You were born, once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn.
You know how we do it, right? The balls go up.
Why are you talking to me like I know? I don't know.
Yeah, but tell us.
But look, okay, so
for the folks back home.
So thank you.
It's really simple. Before boys go into puberty, your balls are up. They're inside of you. They're developing. Once you reach some sexual maturity, they drop. And what you still have that sort of spongy thing on the inside where your balls fit. So what you do is you pop your balls back up. You tape down the skin, a really, really tight undergarment that literally snatches the cat back. You take your dick, you put it between your legs, and some girls tape. I prefer to use a gaff.
Tape it to their leg.
No, they tape it literally to the tape on their balls, on their ball skin.
Oh.
I'm wearing a long dress, so I don't have to tuck. They give me hips and a bigger ass. And this is orthopedic pantyhose. This is all smoke and none of this is real, right? We went to it was Cowgirl afterward that we went to, and he was a patron. He thought I was a chick. Well, I sing really high, and then I'm like maybe 150 pounds at this point. So I'm tiny. I'm wearing these huge fake tits. I've got on my hip pads, and I've got this huge ass. I'm corseted, and this full face of makeup, and these long lashes, and this guy cannot keep his eyes off of me. Only a fool, that same old story. Seems you were born for the part. It's a lesson to be learned, and a page you should have turned. You shouldn't cry, but you do. Like an ordinary fool, when her ordinary dreams fall through. How many times have you mistaken good looks and laughs for bad news? How many times
mistaken. Good looks and laughs for the blues.
All the world is waiting for you, and the wonders that you do. In your satin tights, fighting for our rights, and the all that fight is
When my father was diagnosed with HIV, growing up in the Deep South, I believed somehow that God made a mistake and gave my father my destiny. I did believe at that time HIV was my destiny. Somewhere in the back of my mind I felt that, and I miss him, yes, but don't feel sorry for myself, don't feel sorry for him. And sometimes that means getting up at 3:30 in the morning, getting in the shower, getting in full drag. That's being a man.
My father, who was a hemophiliac, was diagnosed with HIV when I was 12, and he passed away when I was 15. And a year later, I wrote this song for him. Everybody's missing someone. These memories I hold dear. In time the pain was dead inside. I long to have you near.
There's no easy way to do this, darling. Not in 5-inch heels and a miniskirt. That's why all those great old Hollywood stars walk with such grace and dignity and slow pacing.
You look beautiful.
Hello, have a cigarette. Sure.
Matches?
No, thank you. He didn't even blink. He knows who I am.
That's it.
He knows what brand I smoke. They know me here. They see me all the time, in and out of the subway. 3 doors down, a gentleman who always says, "You look so pretty." I never give him $1, but he always tells me I look pretty.
quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. A kiss may be grand, but it won't pay the rental on your humble flat. Oh, no. Automatic men grow cold when girls get old, and we all lose our things in the end. I swear on one thing, shape these rocks won't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Tiffany, Cartier, eBay. Oh, that's better. What's eyes?
drag is like a fuck you to what our world tries to box us into. Inability to embrace life and explore all it has to offer and be a weirdo and embrace it. Drag has given me the opportunity to learn so much about myself and other people. I've gotten to meet the most unique and interesting, beautiful people by doing drag. It took a while for me to adjust my thinking, and it made me grow as a person.
I'm a gay man with a slight addiction to cocaine, a little bit of addiction to sriracha, and really bad IBS.
PhilEsha De Lox is the type of drag queen that is always ready to have a good time, always likes to push the boundary of what is fashion, gender norms, beauty norms. A lot of girls have like birthmarks when they paint their face, and I choose to do a unibrow because you know what? I love Frida Kahlo. She's one of my favorite artists in the entire world, and I take drag like an art. Drag gives me the opportunity to not only get away with a couple more jokes than I feel like I would as a straight or as a white male. Bitch, I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want, so shut your whore ass mouth. And because I'm up here and your ass is not. So shut the fuck up and go back to your job folding sweaters. But it also gives me the opportunity to push my creativity to create something like this. Eat this agave nectar. Eat all of it.
I am the cactus now.
My most fabulous drag self, it's when I'm so engaged with the audience and able to deliver my best performance and make the audience just go on a journey with me and have a good time.
In glory land that outshines the sun, I got a home in glory land right here that outshines the sun. I got a home in glory land that outshines the sun. Way
did it at 7 o'clock in the morning. We went to go to my dad's grave. So drag is a commitment, and it's a lifestyle, I guess.
We know this is destined to sing God's praise, that when we first
I got to this place, it took maybe 3 years until I realized, holy shit, she's her own entity. She's in me, but she's not me. I've never taken off my wig in a... I was so fucking hot, and my tits were falling down. I was like, you know what?
Excellent. You guys kicked ass.
Thank you. They were so hot, and they kept going lopsided on me. Normally they have an adhesive backing, but I guess with the sweat, I was toying with doing it only because I thought it was hilarious when Queens did it. And that song, the Big Balls song, it felt so right. And then we were going into this whole gospel thing. I've seen women rip off their wigs when they feel the Holy Spirit and like dancing around in circles like that. It just felt appropriate. I ran with it.
It's a road you've walked before, then alone at my front door. You shouldn't cry, but you do. Like an ordinary fool, when her ordinary dreams fall through.
Someone came up to me and said, thank you for writing that. I've been living with HIV for the past 10 years. And, we had a little moment. We present what, our ideal of perfection. That lifts people's spirits. And what we think might have been a bad performance or a, not our A game, or, I'm wearing the B dress, or, my hair isn't quite right. The audience sees that it is just the way it should be. It's about time to get this stuff off. Oh. goodness.
How does it feel to decanted?
Oh, this is the best. This is the best. Ah. This is the part that hurts the most. I'm sure it's left me some grill marks. Ladies always talk about pantyhose being cumbersome. I'm like, try wearing 2 layers of dance tights. Ah.
Everything comes off and gets dropped. The rings, the nails. The other 9 stayed on. Just the one gave me trouble. One of the problems with shoes like that is that they are high enough that my feet don't unbend. Hi. This top was hard to get on, but when I put it on, I didn't have the boobs in. I just took it off over the boobs. Eyelash off. Back in the case. if I can get a good 10 or 15 uses out of a pair of lashes.
With the eyelashes off, is Michael back?
Just about.
When is Michael back?
He's here. It's late. I'm tired. The lashes are off. Generally, Michael is back when all of the clothing is off. It's about the lashes at one level, but at the end of the day, the corset, the pantyhose, it's exhausting holding it all in. But I'm not one of those queens who can just throw a four-way stretch over everything and let it go to God. I like having a little bit more figure. And as Debbie Allen said in the opening of the classic 1980s show Fame, fame costs. Here's where you start paying. And drag costs. And it hurts. Sometimes it hurts a lot.
Ooh, it feels so good. That's the other thing about Vaseline. It just feels so good. Isn't that messy and goopy and gross? Woo. Alright, hold on. Isn't that great? It just comes right off. The lips are always a little difficult for some reason.
Drag is everywhere. It doesn't have to look like this. Drag can be much more subtle, much more simple. There are people putting themselves out there, adding a little bit of color to their lives that they may not otherwise be able to do.
I encounter plenty of people on a daily basis who I do not agree with, you know. And my practice is about knowing that their opinions are not the truth, you know, and forgiving myself and them for espousing hate.
Through me, through the windows of my disguise, you were one of the few who really knew me. You always took me by surprise. And when I think about all the days gone past, well, of course, you know it's gonna make me cry. And when I look at your photograph, I see the longing in your smile. You had a right to remember. There is joy